There's nothing like a regular expression to strike fear in the heart of a developer. Today we're going to have a look at regular expressions and the different ways that you can use them. We're going to look at matching, how to do captures, as well as positive and negative look ahead and look behinds. Regular expressions are used for a lot of things, such as grabbing a bit of text from a string, validating that a string is in the right format, as well as grabbing certain parts of a string as well. Now I'm going to be using a really useful website called regexer for all of my examples. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested and want to follow along. So here I've got a nice bit of text. You can see here I'm searching for cat. You can do simple string searches with regex, but obviously that's not what makes it powerful. So there's a few different special characters that you can use here to help you with your searches. So let's say instead of cat, we were interested in anything that starts with a letter or a number. So here there is a special character that is /W. So with /W, it will match every alphanumerical character as well as underscores. So here we're finding cat, sat, as well as things where we've got a 3 here as well that's matching. You can also match just numbers with a /D. So here we can see we've just got this 3 at that's matching at the bottom. We can also match things like spaces with a /S. So this will match spaces as well as tabs and new lines. So we haven't got anything here that starts with a space and an at, but if we get rid of the T, then this should match a few things as well. So here we can see we're matching each of the spaces with an A, and it will also matching where that A is preceded by a new line. Now these three, W, D and S, also have the negative versions as well. So if you wanted to search for everything that's not a letter or a number, you can do a capital W here. So here we can see it's matching just the spaces, or we can do not a space with a capital S, or we can do not a number with a capital D. You can see here that at here with a number isn't matching. There's also another special character in regex that's used to match any character in your string, and that is a dot. So if we add a dot in, we can see we're matching everything apart from new lines here. Now obviously this is matching where we only have one character followed by a dot. But say you don't care how many characters you have beforehand, you just want everything ending in an A. So here we can do a dot star, which matches 0 or more characters. There's also a plus, which matches at least one character. So you can see here it's very similar, but it's matching at least one. And we also have a question mark, which means it's optional. So if we had A on a new line, it would also match that as well. Now let's say you wanted to match when you had exactly 3 A's. So here we can see we're matching 3 A's because we've got this dot question mark here. But if we wanted to match exactly 3 A's, we can use a curly brace in here, which matches only when there's 3 occurrences of an A. If we add in a few more A's in here, so we've got another 4 here and then another 5. If you wanted to match all of these, then you can also do a comma 5, which will give you a range, so match everything where there's an A in the range from 3 to 5 of them. In regex, it's also possible to put in a range of characters to match for. So if we change this back to at, we can see here we're matching on cat, sat, mat, but say we only wanted to match it if it starts with a C or an S. Here we can put in square brackets this time, put in C and S, and then close bracket, and you can see here we're just matching on those occurrences. You can also include ranges as well. Say we only want to match from things that range from letters A to P. You can see here that we're also matching cat, mat, but we're not matching on sat. You can also do the negative of these groups as well. So say we don't want to match anything that's A to P, we can put a hat symbol on there, and therefore we only match on everything that's not in A to P. So all of these are really useful for finding particular patterns in a string, but what if you want to extract some of that information and use it in your program? So let's say we're interested in email addresses, but we only want the domain of those email addresses. So in this case, I'm just going to do a /W to find everything before my @ symbol. Now you might want to have a look on Google and find a regular expression for email addresses that caters for every single type of email address. So we want any number of these, so this is where we put a star in. And then we want an @ symbol to say it has an @. Then we're going to do another /W with a star to say give us everything after the @ symbol. And then we're going to do a dot. Now in this case, we could put a dot and it will match, but we actually want an actual dot. So we need to escape it with a backslash. And then we do another /W to end in our .com with a star. So here you can see it's matched that email address nicely. Now to get the domain of that email address, we need to add in a capture group. So to do this, we add in brackets around the bit that we're interested in. And you can see here, it's still matching, but if we go to details On here we can see that we have a new group and the group matches our domain name. Now you can add multiple groups, so let's say we're going to split out the domain extension from the domain. So we can do a bracket here and then another one after the dot to match that as well. So here you can see we now have two groups, one for the name of the domain and the other one for the extension. So this is great for things like file names. If you need to match a load of file names but you want to extract what the extension is, you can do that with regular expressions. Now, one of the aspects of regular expressions that people find particularly confusing is positive and negative lookaheads and lookbehinds. They're not actually that hard. Whenever you want to match something that is preceded by something else or has something else after it, that's when you use these positive and negative lookaheads. So let's have a look at an example. So here we're matching on every single A, but say you only want an A if it's followed by a T. Here you can put in a bracket followed by a question mark and then an equals T, and that gives us a positive look ahead. So you can see now we're only matching the A's where it has a T after it. But let's say we want the opposite. We only want A's where it's not followed by a T. This is what we call a negative look ahead. And to do that, we just replace that equal sign with an exclamation mark, and that will give us all of the occurrences where they have an A that isn't followed by a T. The positive and negative lookbehinds are exactly the same, but instead we're just looking backwards instead of forwards. So here we want to see all of the A's that are preceded by a space or a new line character. So to do this, we do open bracket, question mark again, but this time we need to add in an arrow to say we're looking backwards, and then equals, and then we'll do our /s for our new line character. So you can see here, again, we've got A's highlighted. So we've got an A here because there's a space before it. We've got another A here because it's the start of a new line, but we're not matching any A's that are in the middle of a word. Now, if we want the negative of this, like the negative lookaheads, the negative lookbehind, you just need to replace that equals with an exclamation mark. And now you can see here, we've got all the A's that aren't preceded by a space. So it is possible to do multiple searches in one regular expression. So let's say we want to find all of the A's that aren't preceded by an S, as well as all the T's. So we can do OR symbol here, and then add in a T. And you can see here, we're also matching on the T's. Now you can do this, but it can get quite complicated if you're going to be chaining on lots of different expressions. If you're doing these regular expressions in code, then I recommend that you split these out just to make the regular expression that much clearer. That's it for today's video. If you like this one, then you might like this one on stack and heap memory. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.